We're going to investigate this and that vintage.
It was like a warning label for this door. It's open. It was weird. It was like almost like being in church where you hear tongues.
Start speaking it.
No chance that I could say no. I felt a hand on my throat. Let's wait and see where this goes. Time flies with your eyes closed. What's the point if you're living in a conflict with no palette in the cockpit? Cold sweat's gonna wake you in the morning when all your energy's gone back. When all your energy's gone back.
So things have been really crazy around here lately, and we've just been really busy, and things are just getting tangled together, with our business, our relationship. Most couples argue about chores and things. We have to be concerned whether the entities in the hallway are happy. We just have a lot on our plates.
Over the past few weeks, I would say life has changed. I mean, really honestly, I'm not sure if I made the right decision. I love the people that have come into the house, don't misunderstand. I just feel like I've exposed myself and my family and Jeff to some degree to fears that I had and I have battled in my life. Being a survivor of the satanic panic and now owning a haunted home with my background and some of the artwork that's in the house, and it's been a challenge. It's been a challenge to still feel like this is our home, Jeff and I,
Really don't get time to just, connect and be together. And, work is our house. The office is our house. We're constantly working, investigating, making contacts with people who could help out with the show, experts. So we've been on podcasts, and it's just been insanely busy. On a few of these podcasts, people have noticed that the dead air light is blinking, and it seems to coincide with any time that we're talking about leaving.
I feel like out of just sheer frustration, I want to sell this house. And it's like even saying that, I kind of am like bracing because it gets very upset. It doesn't even like when I leave. The dead air signs flashing, or we're having technical issues. It's like a gilded cage. Like you just kind of fall into this idea that you can't leave or shouldn't leave. I couldn't be more excited. I ordered a ghost hunting kit, my first one, and we're gonna investigate tonight. We're going to This and That vintage thrift store. It's in Yucca Valley, and it's owned by the amazing people that have just supported us so much on this journey, and that's Paranormal 24/7, Paul and Cindy.
Yeah, we're going to investigate this and that vintage. I love these guys to death. They've been at the Vortex, investigated here. We're here for the launch party. Just amazing people. And I can't wait to see this antique store. People have been talking about how haunted it is. Really excited to see what he has in the museum. It's supposed to be jam-packed with all kind of haunted objects and things that have maybe a negative connotation to them. So we're curious to check that out.
It'll be great, and I'm really excited about it. So I can't wait to bust open my kit and see what all these things do and what they're gonna show me and the science behind it.
Yeah, Daphne got herself a paranormal investigation kit off Amazon, and honestly, it looks like junk. It looks like birthday party giveaway stuff. So I'm curious to see if it works at all.
I'm afraid to leave tonight. It almost feels like I'm cheating on them, I guess you could say, in a funny way, like I'm going to visit some other ghosts somewhere. I was so excited because I used to live in Yucca Valley, and it's been a long time since I've been up that way. And we had a wonderful dinner with Lady Tulane before we headed over. So I had a nice full belly from the Joshua Tree Saloon. Hey guys, we are here at This and That. This is my first investigation. I mean, really. All right, let's go. All right, bye.
My name is Paul, and this is Cindy, and we are the owners of This and That Haunted Thrift Store and Haunted Museum.
We had cameras set up throughout the store, and at nighttime they were always going off in the middle of the night. Turns out it was spirits. So we've been documenting our journey here for the last 10 years now.
We've seen a lot of things from apparitions from the Soul Keeper. When our daughter came here, they were on a FaceTime call. We actually seen them form over there in the back corner, hearing, faint voices, hearing knocks, things falling down and stuff like that.
And then they opened the store, and it was almost like a blast of sort of hot air. The energy of the store embracing me was sort of what it felt like.
So I was still getting set up, and I'm hearing Paula talk about, this child spirit, Michael, and, that it could morph into this winged beast. I'm still trying to figure out where to put the camera cases, but this place, it feels active. The energy feels strange. They claim that this one area is a portal, and just really curious to see what's inside this museum. Paul seems really anxious to open this up, and so we're excited to see what's in there.
We walked around, and I felt very connected to the place. And then the door opened to the haunted museum. So Paul starts out with basically a warning. It was like a warning label for this door. And I'm thinking, dear God, what is on the other side of this thing, And there before us are all of these religious artifacts, crosses, dolls all over the place.
I think I saw Pazuzu from Exorcist. There's the cross that Paul used in an exorcism. Some things from the Church of Satan. Anyone would be scared walking into this room, but it's funny because Daphne and I just didn't feel that. This just doesn't creep us out. It's hard to creep us out.
To the left was this chair that was velvet covered and had these like horns on it, and this interesting, like a headpiece that was sort of made out of a cow skull or something. It was very creepy, don't get me wrong, but there was something about it that just drew me to it. Here, I want to touch it.
This thing with the
This whole situation here is very intriguing to me. I even said to Jeff, well before I was told that it came from the Church of Satan, I said, I want to sit in this chair and put this on my head. And I'm like, I really want to sit in this chair and put this thing on my head.
Daphne's really attracted to this chair. I could see her trying to finagle some kind of deal with Paul and Cindy to get this chair into the house. They say it's from the Church of Satan. So, God, the one thing Daphne gravitates to. So we'll see. We'll see if this thing is hanging up in our house anytime soon.
I immediately, when I came in here, did I not, Jeff? I was like, what is this? Yeah. I just want to sit in it and put it on my head. I can't explain it. I don't even know what it is. I don't even know what I'm looking at. There was some sort of a life force there that was trying to connect with us, and it felt trapped.
What was that?
I don't know.
That's crazy, look.
Something just fell.
Her mic just threw off the thing right now.
I saw that.
Oh,
The mic just got thrown right now, and the cat ball went off.
Really?
Yeah.
The
Go
light.
ahead, you can open your eyes. Take that off. And the mic just got
Oh
thrown
my
right now.
gosh. All right, guys, let's have a convo. What'd you just do? Tell me what you did.
She's not even touching anything. She's not even hitting the desk or nothing. It just threw itself off right now.
Daphne's going to do the Estes session first. And the Estes is basically, listening to a radio device that is sweeping through stations very quickly, very rapidly, either forward or backwards. And she's going in there with no fear, so it's going to be interesting to see what comes through. We don't believe in the spirituality or the symbolism behind these objects. We don't fear it. We don't believe it. I'm curious to see if that affects what we experience, if anything. We do feel an energy in here, but are they going to come through? Psst. My name's Jeff, and that's Daphne.
Opening its eyes. Oh, it's hot. Who?
We just want to talk to you guys. Say hi, introduce ourselves.
Can you tell us your name?
This is her first real Estes session, so, she's in there, she's, you can tell she's trying to hear it so clearly. It's hard to tell what they're saying sometimes. It's so fast. But when it comes through clear and when it correlates to something that she can't hear or see what we're doing, it's pretty compelling.
I kept hearing all kinds of things, really. I mean, it seemed as though it was like people passing the mic around. It's open.
What's open?
Step through.
The portal?
Daphne.
That's us. That's Daphne.
Mm.
Can you say Jeff?
That's justice.
What's justice?
After the bomb. Shh.
Are you shushing us?
Stop telling. Shh.
Just let them speak. Why do you quiet them?
Shh.
So Daphne's kind of reacting. It looks like she's, being touched. It seems like they're excited to talk to her, but not so much for her to relay that information back to us.
Stop asking.
What can you tell us?
It's one more time. I want to. Just one more time.
Go ahead, you can tell us.
Stop telling. I think that's tongues. I'm not kidding. I think it's tongues. A parent.
Are you speaking in tongues? What language are you speaking? Is there
It's
something
like
attached
tongues
to
or
Daphne?
something. Another language? I don't know.
Do you know if there's an entity attached to Daphne? An incubus or a succubus?
Ambraki. Aki. On the plane of salvation. Aki.
It seems like she's talking in a different language, talking in tongues. I don't know what's going on. It seems like she's talking Spanish at one point. So really odd things are going on.
More of that tongues. I don't know. Realistically. Solomon. I felt so compelled to hold the hand of that chair head thing that supposedly came from the Church of Satan. I just wanted to hold its hand. Sad feeling in there to me. I did not feel anything negative. And I hesitate to use the word evil because I'm not really a believer in good and evil. I think everything sort of possesses both to some degree, like a battery. You need both sides to make it run. Mama. Mama.
Okay, we're gonna pull Daphne out. Is there anything else you want to say?
Stop.
Stop what?
Open.
What's open?
Daphne.
So we're gonna pull Daphne out of her Estes, and it was a really interesting session.
I don't know why I felt compelled to just reach over here, and then I was like, oh, it's that creepy thing.
Yeah,
It's that thing. My first Estes session was, I would say, successful. It was disturbing, but it was successful. It was weird. It was like almost like being in church where you hear tongues.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was really
Latin.
strange, and I was like, I know what this is, and I'm like, oh, it's tongues. Like that's what it is. And then I kept
You started
hearing,
speaking it.
I think with Paul and Cindy being believers in that, symbolism, in that ritual, in that these objects do hold something evil, it puts a certain fear on it.
What they were saying was exactly how I feel about my entities here. I feel like sometimes they don't know they can leave. They don't know what's going on. And I just kept feeling this overwhelming sadness, like they don't know. They don't know any more than we do. But again, it felt very much like I used to feel. I was unaware I could leave. And I'm sure there are a lot of people watching this that can understand that. I didn't know I could leave. I was overwhelmed with that feeling. I just heard something. They're scared, and I think we forget that sometimes.
Who's in the room with Jeff?
Oh, am I asking questions?
Yeah, we can ask questions.
Okay. I knew.
Who do you want to speak with?
No one. He's coming.
Who's coming?
He comes from the wall.
In
Me
what-
too.
From what room does he come in?
I heard something.
What did you hear?
It's white.
Is it the boots? The white boots? The walk around?
Free me.
Who's me?
Yeah, who are we talking to? I need to know who you are in order to set you free.
Not me.
I felt like I had to kind of like move the radio around to try and see if I could get a different signal. And it seemed to be clearest over on my left. I actually like reached out, like I felt like something was there.
See? Look, he wants to reach
Jesus.
over there too. Look at that. Look at that. It's like something pulled me over, like I just wanted to touch whatever was on that side. Watching Jeff do the Estes Method was wild. With this blindfold and these headphones, his face was just changing and you could see it.
She's new.
Who, me? Who's new? Who? Who do we need to talk to then?
You're beautiful.
Thank you. So are you. Now who are we talking to? Really connecting with them. And so it was nice when it said, you're new and, you're beautiful. And I felt like some of the stuff that, Jeff was relaying and I was relaying, it was kind of mirroring the same thing. They wanted us to hang out. And so it was kind of flattering.
It felt like it was reaching out to Daphne. She's beautiful, she's new, came through a couple times. So they knew that she was, new at this. I think they really like her energy and were, attracted to that.
It's not like laughing.
Yeah, they were laughing.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Of course, when I stop recording, right?
I know. Knock, knock. Who's there? There was some joking going on. I felt like a few times they were being a little sarcastic. At one point in time, it was trying to tell us a knock, knock joke.
It felt like a knock knock joke was coming. I set it up and then there was really no punchline. At one point it started to get a little heavier and it was saying things like,
We're in hell.
Where is hell? Describe it.
that was pretty heavy to hear. We're in hell. And then watching it back, Paul asked, where is hell?
Close your eyes.
Okay, they're closed. What should I be seeing?
Now open them.
Okay. I really had a physical reaction because I really felt as though what it was trying to say is, you're looking at it.
Hell is that room to them. They're trapped there. It doesn't feel like anything negative. It just feels like a sadness. It feels like they're, ready to get out of there, but aren't aware that they can. It reminds me of like the elephant that's tied to the stake outside the circus. He's been there his whole life. Since he was a baby, he was tied to that stake. But now he's a big, strong elephant. He can obviously just take a couple steps and rip that stake out, but it's conditioned to know it can't leave. I think Daphne and I both can relate to that.
And as someone who spent a lot of time in my life captive and isolated, I felt that to the deepest, darkest parts of my soul. Yeah, that would be hell. To be locked for all of eternity into a room and be shown to other people how awful and ugly and evil you are. You don't have a name. You just have a reputation. Let's see. Okay, so Paul's stepping in. How do you feel about Paul being in the room there?
It doesn't matter.
What doesn't matter?
I didn't know Paul had entered the room. I didn't know that there was a cross right in front of my face. I had no idea. I was trying to listen intently. I was surprised I didn't hit him with the radio.
What do I have in my hand? Do you like what I'm holding in my hand?
Don't talk to me like that.
And when Paul tested it, went into the room, and Jeff had no idea he was there, and he held the crucifix up, Jeff turned his head.
What is this? Do you like this? Look towards it.
If you must.
If I must. Do you like what's in front of you?
If you must. It said it again.
When he puts it right in my face, I say, if you must. And then it came through again, very strong and if you must.
More of the same as what I experienced. Was it seemed like Jeff was keyed in on something that was trying to make sense out of what was going on, and was kind of annoyed and being sarcastic. If you must put that thing in my face, I guess. What came to mind for me, honestly, was a conversation that I had with Brian Sterling Veet of Paranormal Rescue. And we were discussing the symbols of these religions are really where the power is, truly. If I don't believe in those things, I probably wouldn't be afraid. If a symbol doesn't mean anything to you and does not invoke fear or some sort of a physical reaction, then it's just an object. It means nothing more than, say, an onion or a baseball. It's probably not going to frighten them because they don't associate that with something evil or bad. But what I will say, I will piggyback off of that, is what I did feel was some PTSD. And I think that was real. The crosses had an effect on me because of what has happened to me in the past with organized religion and how much of a hate campaign there has been on me. So it's interesting. I feel like when we walked into that room, that's more what was going on than a connection to something evil.
Are you afraid of what I'm holding in my hand? Are you afraid of Jesus Christ?
All the religious objects, symbolism, definitely gives me PTSD as well. I have so much trauma from the Catholic Church through the years. Completely changed my personality and who I am, and took years of therapy to try and get to the point I am now. And something that still affects me.
So we had many psychics come in saying, and people that had never been to the store, saying that Michael is a shapeshifter from 5 to 12 and from 12 into on. So he can shapeshift to anything area.
Okay.
And seeing Michael shapeshift to Daphne in that corner. And he says he he seen him with 4 wings and seen him just be on the top of the corner. That's real tall. His I don't know, he described him as the hoofs.
But he is the protector of children. That's what I find interesting.
Who?
That's why he's on my leg. Baphomet is not according to any doctrine other than historical references. Yeah. Before he was adopted as some pagan whatever, it was just simply a protector of children, of knowledge. That's why you always see him reading to children. Yeah. Is that's the original idea that the artist, it's not even a biblical thing. Yeah. It's kind of taken a life of its own. It's it has with it. And I'm not saying that people don't have their feelings about it and whatever, but it is a Baphomet, almost protective, sort of protecting children feeling that I get. I don't feel anything evil.
So he's seeing him.
So Paul and Daphne are having a kind of a theological discussion about religion, and it does appear like Paul is having like a physical reaction. So I don't know if that's in reaction to something that's happening in the shop, or it's some kind of reaction to Daphne, or how we're comfortable with these things and talking in a plain way to them and trying to empathize with them.
For me as an exorcist, I'm against it. But for you,
Gotcha.
So I'm totally against anything like that. So to me, my thing is to get rid of them, to destroy them, right? So my thing is to, I learn like how they work, right? Well, how they cause possession, what makes them do all that other stuff. But I have nothing against anybody else who believes in Baphomet or BS, but that's their religion.
Yeah, but see, I
and stuff
guess
like
there's
that.
a difference
So,
in like believing in it. And
yeah,
I don't know if I
and
believe
worship
in it,
and
like,
stuff like
but
that.
I
Like,
don't.
yeah.
I don't worship anything.
So like,
that's the important distinction.
Yeah, when I meet people, and if they're like, "Oh, like I worship," hey, that's cool. Whatever.
Yeah.
Well, that's your belief.
But I
you
just
know?
want to be adamant, though, that we don't worship anything. And what I look at is artwork, historical references.
Yeah.
Baphomet is not a religious figure to me
Yeah.
any more than Lucifer is. It's a
Yeah.
story that
It's a
I
story that
identify
people-
with.
yeah.
Are there good and bad things
Yeah.
in this world? Absolutely. Believe me, I know that.
Yeah.
I'm more than probably the average person. I get it. I totally do.
Yeah.
I just sometimes like to challenge it, but like I said, is it bad? Is it good? But at
Yeah.
the same time,
But at the same time, it could be good for you, but
and
it's
bad for
me.
somebody else.
Right?
Exactly.
Being bad about anybody who worships that's their religion, that's their beliefs. And
Well,
stuff
that's
like
what I
that,
guess
but
what I'm saying.
But we all learn
don't
from each
have
other.
a
Yeah.
religion. Do you know what I
Right.
mean? We don't.
Yeah.
I believe in what I feel
What
and
you
what
feel,
I see,
yeah.
and exactly. But I don't know if I necessarily. I don't know. I have a lot of mixed feelings on, do I cause a lot of this stuff myself because I'm
Well, we
used to it?
Someone can someone cause their own possession? Can
Right.
someone cause their own oppression? Well, yeah, we can. We can.
Sure.
The devil doesn't need to. Be there to possess us. We do that ourselves. You know, the life that we live, the acts that we do in our life, the things we do in our life. And stuff like that. So necessarily, the devil doesn't need to he's like, I don't need for this. You're going to do that on your own.
Right.
Like attachments and stuff like that. We're going to create our own attachments. So it's like, it's just the things that we do in our life and how we live our life. It just.
We're saying the same thing. I think for us, it's more of where's the crossroads with trauma,
Yeah.
psychology, that kind of thing versus the supernatural, paranormal. And he was explaining to us he was having heart palpitations. He was afraid. He wasn't sure if he was going to have to go to the hospital. He was saying that he was having trouble breathing, almost like a panic attack.
We went outside, got some water, and went back in to kind of wrap up our investigation. But it was a strange moment.
Perfect example. Not everyone has to agree with
Yeah,
everything,
yeah.
and we can still be friends.
Yeah, because no one's ever going to agree with. I
Exactly.
know everybody has their own opinion.
And I think that's what's
Everybody
cool
has their
about
own way.
paranormal
Yeah,
stuff.
of the way they investigate. People have their own way, but we learn from other investigators. We see how other people investigate. They see how we investigate.
The word Satan means something different to everyone across all cultures and divides. To me, the word Satan is simply used to say not of the church. It doesn't mean a guy with red horns and a tail or whatever. I don't believe in that. And so my own personal feeling on what a demon is a person, a thing, an entity that has been probably wrongfully judged, which is where the word demonized comes from.
It just felt sad, I had so much empathy for what was in there. These things are in pain, they're confused, they're scared, frustrated. They're looking more to us for answers than, we're just coming at them with questions. It's got to be incredibly frustrating to be dead. I can't imagine. And then to not know why or where or what's happening or what's next. I don't know if, there's anything evil in that room. I don't know if anything evil really exists. I'm in the same theory as Daphne that, there's positive and there's negative energy. I think everyone's got both in them. There's no such thing as evil. I think it's all a story. I think it's all misunderstandings and demonized people who were just trying to make progress, a little too ahead of their time. And just people couldn't accept it, it was too much for them, and demon, witch. So there we have them, easy scapegoats.
When I walked into that room, my scientific mind could not grasp a concept of evil. What it did grasp was an energy of a lot of entities that were wrongfully judged, locked behind a door, and told that they were the worst of the worst, so bad that we have to spray holy water on you in order to open this door. I've been there. So I think they mean well, but I just feel like it's very misunderstood.
Yeah, you know, nothing but love for those guys, Paul and Cindy. We love you guys, and you know, we can't wait to investigate again with you guys. And it's an amazing shop you guys have there, and hopefully more people come out and check it out, because it's only going to help the investigation, different types of investigations, you know, to really tell the story of what's going on there. Rational thinking, science-based investigations. We try and keep religion to a minimum. Yeah, we try and figure out what's actually going on with this energy here.
When we got home after investigating the store, there was an odd vibe in the house. We got into bed, and there's been so much talk about this incubus, succubus thing. I felt something get in bed with us. It wanted to feel that closeness. It was sad. It wanted to feel warmth. It wanted to get between Jeff and I, not in this way so many investigators are saying, where it's pulling us apart. I don't know if that's true. I think what was pulling us apart was life.
So we got home, we were exhausted from, you know, a long day, and got into bed, and I did feel like something crawled into bed with us. Like, it was sad that we were gone, missed us, missed that comfort, and got into bed and just like fell asleep. There was no like sex dreams or anything. You know, things have calmed down in that sense. We don't know if there's a succubus incubus here. You know, we don't feel like there's anything that is negative in any way. I think it's just a lot of confusion and sadness, and you know, people trying to cling on to what they enjoyed most in life. You know, that's what these party ghosts are. You know, they enjoyed partying, they enjoyed sex. You know, that's something that they were going to gravitate towards. But this felt different. It felt just kind of lonely and sad.
When we woke up the next morning, after feeling this entity get into bed, I felt closer to Jeff than I ever have. But I had this weird anger that was like, I don't know, it was like boiling inside of me. And I just kept trying to push it down, you know. We head out to go to the grocery store. I could feel it already from the house. And I just kind of wrote it off that maybe that's what it was. They were upset that I was leaving, as usual. I almost had an out-of-body experience in the Walmart. I don't really know why I started picking at Jeff.
Just sucked. It just wasn't us. It felt out of place. You know, definitely out of place to do it in public. And driving home was awkward, and I just didn't know what the hell was going on. You know, I couldn't understand what was happening. When we got home, Daphne had like an out-of-body experience. I can't explain it. We were watching back some of the footage, and she started talking in tongues, like more than she was at the museum. Like, it was like angry. I was like, I couldn't tell what the hell she was like. Is it Russian?
We got home, and I had what can only be described as a channeling. I don't remember much of it. I remember becoming very upset and crying and screaming. Why?
Then we're in the kitchen, we're arguing, and she starts screaming, why? I don't know. Stop asking us. It's like a frustration that she was channeling of, why are you asking us? Why are you asking us about our death? You know, we don't even fully know that they know that they've passed. So that this whole ordeal has got to be super traumatic for them.
They don't know why we're here, and they don't know why they're here either. And we're all just trying to cohabitate together and make sense of it. And we just keep asking it questions, and it doesn't know. It doesn't know any more than we do. It's got to be terrifying, and I felt it to my bone in a way I never had before.
just the confusion, the anger, the being misunderstood. It just all came through, and she started vomiting.
And it just continued to build and build to the point where I was, quite frankly, vomiting. And I was losing control of my faculties. I was not there. It was not me. I have very little recollection of this. You know, Jeff was telling me he was quite concerned. He wasn't sure if he should take me to the hospital or not. I had just been speaking in tongues at the vintage store. You know, that scared Paul to death. So we weren't sure exactly what was going on. I got sick several more times.
Some kind of channeling, some kind of purge of something negative. Afterwards, she felt lighter. She felt like she expelled something. So I don't know what that was. You know, I was worried. I thought we were going to take her to the hospital. I was seriously worried. So, you know, everything seemed okay.
We fell asleep and woke up many hours later to the whole house on. I mean, hearing Jeff tell me what I said mirrors exactly what I was feeling and what I have felt probably all along about spirits.
So we went out looking for answers, and we came home, you know, realizing that maybe nobody really knows. You know, not us, not other investigators, and not, you know, what we are communicating with. You know, they don't understand. They don't know what's happening. It begs the question, you know, is our mental health passed on to our spirit? If I have an anxiety, you know, does my ghost have anxiety? So we have to take this in consideration. You know, we don't know what we're dealing with, who we're dealing with, they've been through. So it's something we're going to dig in more, something that we're going to keep in mind for, you know, further investigations.
The house wants us to investigate in the ways that we know how, non-condescending, cooking food, laughing, you know, being sexy. I haven't been on the pole in weeks because it's been so heavy with the people coming in and the religion talk and the possession talk and the succubus and the incubus. It's negging me out, to be honest with you. And the house feels the same way. I want to get more mental health therapists and experts on hand. I want to talk about trauma in the afterlife. I want to talk about people like me that have been through some pretty dark stuff. People like Jeff that have been through really dark stuff. You know, second lives, second chances. You know, are we more in tune with them because we understand loss? We understand what it's like to have to rebuild from nothing and figure it all out. And that's sort of what I see these entities going through. You know, we don't know who these people are and what they believed. We don't know what their traumas and triggers are. And I feel like that's really going to be the heart of our investigation at Vortex 29 is the healing journey, the fun, getting to know them, talk to them. What are they feeling? And stop imparting what we want them to be. Good, evil, scary. I think it is kind of a combination of everything. And it's a lot of human-based fear.
The next phase is not about demanding proof. It's learning how to listen.